Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Live from Super Soul Farm, this is Wisdom of the Sages, a daily spiritual podcast that makes ancient wisdom relevant today. I'm your host, Raghunath, with co-host and senior educator at the Bhakti Center in New York, Kstuba Das. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show, everybody. This is episode 1384 and 1364, and you are live on Facebook today.
Yeah, that's right.
Why? Because it's Q&A day. If you're new to the show, welcome. If you're listening on Facebook, welcome. It's our daily spiritual podcast on yoga, philosophy, and bhakti, connecting the soul to source as taught by the ancient teachings of India. And once a week, we have Q&A day where people send in all their questions, and we try our best to answer them according to the Vedic teachings. Before we start, Miss Mara, who's spinning the dials, has some announcements.
I do. We have Bhakti Recovery Group meetings today at 9:30 and 1 Eastern Time. Join Wisdom of the Sages at the beautiful Govardhan Eco Village for our Light on Wisdom training, January 12th through 24th. If you've ever wanted to have time away from the daily grind to learn yoga wisdom in depth and have all your questions answered in a supportive environment, this is an opportunity not to be missed. Go to wisdomofthesages.com/events for more info and to register.
All right.
You guys playing.
I think Kstuba learned that you can make two hand
It doesn't work for
gestures
me, though.
back to Zoom. We just discovered this.
Did it work for me?
It doesn't work for you.
It
I don't.
doesn't
You know,
work
I
for
think
me.
your
You've got
hands
the
are too
magic.
delicate.
All along,
You
we
need
thought
thicker, sort of like a little. You know, I don't want to say this, but I don't mean this in a bad way. But you need a little bit more manly hands.
Oh, thank you, Reverend.
We also
man
have,
hands.
I also want to mention, I'm going to let that comment go and mention. We have some information on the inaugural Bhaktivedanta Institute Summer School, which is starting today.
Oh, this was what Brahmatirtha Prabhu, co-author, the Q&A, perfect questions for perfect answers.
Yeah.
With how do you pronounce that title?
Perfect questions, perfect answers.
For perfect
That's right.
answers. Yeah, it was
Not
at
with,
Prabhupada.
just
Four.
perfect questions.
Prabhupada did with him
Perfect
when he
answers.
was a young boy, a young teenager. He's heading up the Bhaktivedanta Institute, was a scientifically minded research group based around spirituality.
Yeah. So
It's-
they have this summer school that starts today. 4 amazing sessions of online presentations of the latest research and projects of the Bhaktivedanta Institute, covering consciousness, the philosophy of science, understanding the science within Shastra, life sciences, appearance of species, cosmology, and what's beyond the universe. So I think you can tune in live streamed on YouTube. So I'll put the link up in the show
Okay,
notes and
great.
on Zoom.
It starts
Awesome.
today. It's pretty
Quality
exciting.
stuff.
And some people are very scientific minded, and you'll be very attracted to this because these are all like scientists.
To be clear, the BI, the Bhaktivedanta Institute, it's kind of developed a reputation that's like the science wing, but really it's the academic wing. So it's not all science.
Yeah, it's also the UFO wing of the Hare Krishna
I don't
movement.
know if it's the UFO wing. Maybe that's what you want it to be.
No, it is. They completely endorse it. You know what's interesting? I was doing a little research because me and Udi and Mara took a romantic japa walk, all three of us, up to the Shaker village near us.
Have we taken Kstuba there before?
I've
Have we
never been
taken
to
you
a
to
Shaker
Shaker?
Village.
We're gonna
Oh, we
take
got
you
to
to the
take
Shaker
him.
village.
Yeah, you would like it, Kstub.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
These guys are very interesting guys. But anyway, so I started doing some research on the Shakers. They shake in their ecstaticness. They shake. They do a lot of singing and revival, dancing together, and incredible furniture makers, incredible builders. But then I started studying the Mormons. I was on a squirrel rabbit hole of new
Yeah,
religions.
I can see you moving like in a direction now. Then I got to the Mormons. Then I got
Yeah.
to
Mormons are all about
the Branch
UFOs as well.
Dravidians. Okay, I got the Branch Dravidians.
Mormon
That was
was
fascinating.
found,
stuff.
I thought I knew a lot about Mormons because I went to the Mormon Museum, but the Mormons, they're like Jesus came to America. It was founded by a 14-year-old prophet.
Joseph Smith.
Joseph Smith. Yeah, in
I've been
upstate
I've
New
been
York.
to the place there in Salt Lake, the greeting center.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I've been
Have
to
you
their
been to the
museum.
Tabernacle?
Yep, Tabernacle Choir.
All right.
But
Hey, there's another announcement, by the way.
these guys were
Now,
everybody was persecuted. Oh my
yeah,
God!
it
They
happens.
the mob killed Joseph Smith. That's how he
Oh,
died.
wow, that's a shame.
Yeah.
Mara, are you done with announcements?
Polygamy was big.
Yeah, I'm done with the announcements.
You
Thank
missed you missed a good one.
Oh, what I miss?
Tomorrow we have
Oh
an
yeah,
interview.
tomorrow's show. Tell us about the guest.
The guest is Alexandra Tirsu, otherwise her initiated name is Barshana Priya. This is an amazing person. You know, she's
one of these.
she's one of the top violinists of her generation. You know, she plays at all the big concert halls, you know, classical music. She's, you know, an incredible, just another level of talent, you know.
Yeah, she's like first seat in like, I'm gonna say it wrong, the Russian symphony.
Not first seat, Ragnar. She's the soloist.
Isn't that
So
first
there's
seat?
the first seat. No, I think the soloist is like even beyond that. You know,
I think
they
the
don't
first
sit; they
seat
stand up.
becomes the soloist, like stands up and does a solo.
I don't know if that's
What
true.
does a soloist do during the
I don't know. We'll
orchestra?
find out
Just walks
tomorrow.
around.
No,
No,
they
she sits
stand up.
down occasionally, and she sits in the first seat.
No, no.
You think there's a first seat and a soloist?
Yes, there's a first seat and
she's
the
on like
soloist.
she's on like a swing, and they just swing her back and forth during the orchestra performance.
I don't
Anyway,
know.
she's quite incredible. One of those virtuosos.
When she was a little girl, you know, like she was born in a family of bhakti yogis, of devotees, and people
Oh,
like
was she?
yes, and
I
people
didn't
like
know that.
Niranjana Swami, Bhattahari Prabhu, and Radhanath Swami used to visit her in her home and visit her family, and they encouraged her to follow her musical calling and make her life an offering to Krishna.
Wow.
And she's just risen to the, you know, to the top levels in her field of classical music. So, you know, I thought it was interesting because we'll hear about her life, but we'll also hear about what it's like to balance that life of bhakti and then being in her particular career, which has a lot to travel, a lot of, you know, all kinds of people.
It
And
actually ties in with our first question, my friend.
oh, well, before you get there, I was also saying it also ties into what we've been talking about all week, which is self-discipline. Because imagine the amount of discipline it takes to become that level of a violinist, you know. So she's
Part
got
of
a
me
lot
wants
to
to give
share.
it credit to a previous life, which I
Well,
guess was
you have
discipline
to
in
do
a
the
previous life
discipline
as
at
well.
some point or another, but you can't tell me that, you know, well, we'll find out from her how much discipline she's had to, you know, engage in.
The interesting thing is there is a type of discipline that's needed, and there's people who just excel at things. Even, you know, even in martial arts, I found like there's people that just come out of the gates that are just very good. They're just naturally strong, naturally athletic, naturally tough. And there's people who are disciplined and they get good, but it's just a harder path. And so probably people like her, they've been disciplined for lifetimes.
Yeah. And she's probably been a devotee in her previous life because you're born in a family of devotees.
Yeah. I wish I was great
What
at
kind of-
something.
Wish I was good at something.
I know. Well, you know, they say you put 10 years in, you get pretty good.
Come on, man. You're a musician. You're an author. You're a part-time botanist. What
know,
more
but-
do you want?
He's getting quite good with his part-time botany.
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah,
Pretty good at
very
that. I surprise people all the time.
Black
Is
willow
it?
tree,
Or is it
Last
that-
yesterday, I was like, Black Willow. And people like, Udi was stunned.
He was speechless.
You got it right.
Udi was speechless. I whipped that out.
Okay. All right, we ready?
Yeah.
Question time. Q&A.
Here's a question from Chris Goodman.
Chris
That's
Goodman.
a good name. Imagine having that name. Goodman.
Good man.
Goodman. I wonder what his ancestors were like. Very good.
I hope they were.
You've got like a name to live up to.
Maybe it was their way for covering up.
Yeah, maybe it was sarcasm. Yeah, go Goodman. But he's probably a good man, Chris Goodman.
Okay.
Thank you, Chris, for writing. Here's his question. Am I really the first question for the host post?
What that
Actually,
means
was he?
is
Was he the first one?
what that means is because now we have questions on our platform at wisdomandsages.com. There's in the chat area there's one thread that's dedicated to asking questions, and his was the first on the platform.
Oh, wait a second. So you don't have to write Miss Mara anymore at
Don't have to.
wisdomofthesages108@gmail.com? It goes right to the website?
Yeah. I mean, in the past, we always had that on the
Discord also.
And people would
Discord
write
thread.
it on Discord.
Yeah. So now the Discord, have we buried Discord now? Have we shut it down?
Maybe we got to bury that.
No, we haven't yet.
We should shut
Man.
it down.
It's
Okay.
like they're a thriving community. You want to? It's like crushing.
No, now
It's
we've
like crushing a
provided-
little village, Kostuba.
No, it's like taking everyone from the little village and putting them to a much nicer place. We've relocated them, Raghunath. Okay.
It's always for
Nobody wants to
their
be
benefit.
relocated.
It's always for their benefit.
We've
Kostuba.
relocated.
They know
them.
what's best for you.
Okay, Linda says there's hardly any posts over there anymore, so she's going to shut it down soon.
I want to get crazy on that message board myself.
Forget about that message board. Raghunath. Hardly anybody's over there. Nobody's paying any attention.
Much love and respect to both of you guys and the continued help and support. I've been thinking about this for a while.
Okay,
Ready?
what
Here's
is
Chris
it?
Goodman. Is there really good and bad karma? Yes, there is. I could easily have seen, for example, trauma, years of drug use, and things I've been through as bad karma. Although admittedly, a lot of trouble was due to poor choices. But if I shift my perspective,
Yeah.
I could also easily see it as all for my edification, right? Edification means
Yes.
like our purification, our growth. If I hadn't gone through all that, I wouldn't be where I am right now with my family, a dream job where I get to support other people navigating drug and alcohol use.
Sounds like some good karma.
Yeah, I love people happy in their jobs. Maybe I never would have been hurt. Maybe I never would have heard the holy name. And now here I am, 5 years in recovery, bead bag in hand. That's exciting, isn't it?
Bead bag.
Chris
in
Goodman. Okay, so that was good karma then.
No, so
was
was
that good karma then? Because I'm here now. I feel like it's just as easy to see the pitfalls of someone's good fortune when you zoom out. Isn't it all perspective? And a follow-up question of this
Isn't it all just perspective?
Is it all just perspective?
Is it all just perspective?
Why am I just amped up today? Follow-up question. Here's a follow-up question. Is there a trick or a practice or a perspective to try to consistently see our struggles as being a learning experience or for our betterment?
Or for our betterment?
You're allowed to correct me when I say something wrong, but when I say something right, you can't correct me. How about that? Let's make that the new rule.
But you said it wrong.
Did I?
Yes.
I don't think I did that time. Okay, that's a good one.
All right.
He
You want me to start?
he
You wanna
gets
start?
it. He gets it.
Okay.
He's not trying to bargain with the universe. Okay, I need some good karma here. I'm going to do some puja. Give me a mantra to a demigod so I can overcome some bad, malefic planet, Kostuba. Help me out here. Worship some deity or some deva, some devi, so I can overcome some misfortune, so I can have a baby, so I can get a good wife. No. He's taken a zoomed out perspective. Even the bad things in your life, once you apply Krishna consciousness, they all become auspicious. Isn't that amazing? Krishna consciousness is all auspicious. What's the Sanskrit word for that, Kostuba?
What is it? Shubha. I want to say Shubhananda, but I know it's not that.
Shuba
is it,
Shuba?
Tim?
Is it like Shuba Shuba? Or is that like a, am I thinking of that lollipop? Shuba
lollipop?
Shoops. I think it's Shuba.
It's just auspicious.
Yeah, it's all auspicious. Sarva Shuba.
That's
I think-
nectar
I bet
devotion.
you
You'll
know
find
this
that
should
in the early chapters of nectar devotion.
It's nectar of devotion. But the idea is once you add Krishna consciousness to your life, all the bad things become positive things, wonderful things, sweet things. You know the story in my book about me getting beat down. How the book
It's a
opens.
sweet
I'm
thing.
getting beat up by a gang of people with baseball bats. And it's the most spiritual experience of my life. How can that be? That makes no material sense. Nothing makes material sense here. And he's noticing that his drug abuse, his bad choices. Without those things, he wouldn't be where he is now. He's smart to see that. So yeah, is there good karma and is there bad karma? In the zoomed in version, there is. You can be born, say, sickly, unhealthy, in a poor family, destitute. You can get cheated. You can get betrayed. You can drive your car off the road. You can get a car accident. It's all quote bad karma. We're not looking forward to that, right? No one's going out of their way and saying, "I'd like to break my arm today." It just things happen. That's called bad karma. But when you can put a spiritual twist on it, and which is, I think, part of his second question, then you see a divine hand in all of it. And all we're left to ask is, "Oh, my Lord, what am I supposed to learn from this? Oh, my Lord, what is this what you want from me today? What do you want? How do you want me to grow with this?" Or as he puts, it was all edification. It was all for my edification. I think he has a very nice spiritual perspective. Kostuba?
Oh yeah, I was trying to get that term. I was looking it up, but I haven't found it yet.
It's okay. It was like trivia, which you
Yeah, but
failed.
those are good things to know. All auspicious. Okay. Yeah, I think in one sense there's a semantic aspect to this, right? If we just switch the terms from good karma and bad karma to pleasant karma and unpleasant karma, but it's all good, right? You,
That's our theme, isn't it? It's all good.
But actually, from another perspective, you see, he said this. He said, he asked, he said, I feel like this is just as easy to see the pitfalls of someone's good karma when you zoom out. Is it all just perspective? There's an objective reality about what the law of karma is and what the law of karma does. But we characterize it according to our perspective. So from the perspective of the criminal, or let's say from the perspective of the convict, the prison is bad, right? I'm suffering because of it. From the perspective of the victim of the crime, the prison is good. Oh, thank God that guy's in prison, because if he was wandering around out here, we'd be in danger. When we look at karma, even from the perspective of reality, from clear perception, we could still characterize it as all of karma as either good or bad, because like you have what is it, the Ishopanishad, Om Purnam Adaha Purnamidam, this fascinating invocation to this really important Upanishad, right? When you break it down, it's a very cryptic verse, Om Purnam. It's really Purnam Idam Purnam Adhaya. From that whole, this, not even from, like that wholeness, this wholeness. Like it's, from that which is whole, wholeness comes from it. Anything that comes from the whole is completely whole. And then the second part of it says, and even if you take away so much from that whole, it remains whole. So it's trying to describe the inconceivable potencies of God. And so, but it's saying that God is whole, God is complete, and everything that comes from God, including this world, including the world we live in, is complete. So in that sense, it's not bad. It's perfect as it is. Just like a government has a justice department. It's not that, oh no, that's bad. That's part of how it works. It's part of what makes it complete, is that it has that aspect to it, and it plays an important role. So in one sense, both good and bad karma, or let's say both pleasant and unpleasant karma, are good. They're there to rectify us. They're there to help improve us, to help bring, that's a good thing. From the perspective of the true spiritualist, they also look at it as all bad, right? Like both pleasant and unpleasant. I don't want to operate within the realm of that law. I want to transcend that law. So
I don't want to be in the world of good and bad.
Yeah, I don't want to be in the world of good and bad, the world of pleasant and unpleasant, the world where I'm getting automated reactions to my actions because I haven't directly connected myself to the whole. So I want to transcend that and operate on the level that's called akarma, where it's my act. Even if I act in this world, there's no reaction because I'm not acting from a selfish motive. I'm acting in wholeness with the whole, and so there's no response. So, but I think Chris, as you mentioned, Raghunath, I think Chris has kind of caught on to it. Yeah. Even the bad karma is good from the right perspective. It's making us better people. It's giving us a chance to become. It's helping us to become better people.
It's as if spiritual life is training us out of victimhood. Huh?
Out of you could say out of victimhood and ultimately into the realm of selfless love, right? It's all just to what was our quote yesterday, our nugget yesterday, where it said like there's only one plot, and that is consciousness. What was it again? Consciousness, trapped in a ego-based something.
The only plot in the universe is consciousness trapped in ego-based self-interest, gradually becoming free.
Okay. You should get bad karma for that, right, Claim? So we're this consciousness trapped in a false ego with a false idea of what our self-interest is. And when we operate according to the false conception, then there's karma is there, and particularly the unpleasant karma. The pleasant karma rewards us to act in harmony with our true nature. And the unpleasant part of karma, what people call bad karma, is actually making us feel the pinch, making us feel the pain when we act in ignorance of our nature. We act against our nature, or when we act against our self-interest. And so in that sense, it's good. Right?
Hey, Nick on the Chandra put on the message board. Very good. These are the six symptoms of pure devotional service. You ready? Number one, kleshagni. Bhakti destroys all misery.
Okay.
Shubhada. Bhakti bestows, like it gives.
Bestows auspiciousness, yeah.
Bestows auspiciousness. Sudurlabha. It's rarely obtained, right? Because you conquer Krishna. Sudurlabha. It's difficult to obtain. Mokshalaghukrit. Makes even liberation seem trifling. Sandrananda Visheshatma. Prema Bhakti is imbued with a condensed superlative pleasure. And 6, Krishna Karshini. Prema Bhakti is capable of even attracting Krishna.
It's inconceivable.
It's inconceivable. These are the symptoms of pure devotional service. Exciting. Okay.
Now, there's the follow-up question. Is there trick or practice or perspective to try to consistently see our struggles as being a learning experience for our betterment? Thoughts?
It's just drilled into the way we think. I mean, there's stories. You hear of Queen Kunti. All the stories of the Bhagavatam are meant
you're saying
to teach us. Yeah.
Daily.
So hearing these things, by hearing them, you drill it into your mind that this is Krishna's mercy. All you got to do is hang out with devotees for a while, and you'll be like, "Oh, I just stubbed my toe," and the devotee will be like, "Yeah, it's Krishna's mercy." You're like, shut up. It's just one of those things that devotees say all the time. They just see Krishna's mercy behind everything.
I think this is what I was going to say too. It's here at Shravanam. Like I remember when we did that 500 episode, and it was like 2 hours of testimonies.
500.
Yeah.
Is that like Juneteenth? 500th?
500. What's the matter with that?
500th.
You can't say 500? Is this you take the sets of 100 and you take the
making
fifth
up
set
a new
of hundreds?
language?
I don't know. You tell me. Professor Snooki, is that all right?
No,
I'm wrong.
Professor is like, no.
All right, 500th, whatever.
500.
So I remember it was just like 2 hours of testimonies of people saying by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam every day through the podcast, how to change their life and change their perspective and help them see the challenges in their life from a new perspective and therefore grow through them. And so, it's hearing and it's reflecting, right? We have to hear this. You have to keep hearing it. You can't, there's got to be no break in it. This is the how practice works is that you do it with the right attitude, you do it over the course of a long time, and you do it steadily without interruption, like on a daily basis, and
How you
the
become
practice becomes firmly rooted, and then you begin to just see through new eyes. So
how you become
hearing
great at
and
everything,
reflecting.
right?
Yeah. Yeah, hearing every day and then reflecting on what you heard as you go through your day, to just like when you say someone said you stub your toe and someone says, yeah, that's Krishna's mercy, that's them helping you reflect, right?
Mhm.
To think back, like this is all connected. Don't forget that. There you go.
Krishna's mercy.
All right.
Okay. Let's go to the next question.
Yeah.
Want to read this one?
Okay.
From
This has come from, we never know how to pronounce it. Adrian. Adrian.
Adrian?
Adrian.
Audrey and I think it's Adrian.
No, I don't think so, because I think this
There's
is a
certain
guy.
people who get a lot of questions answered, I've noticed in our community.
But we haven't heard from Adrian in a long time.
Yeah, and there's certain people that never ask questions.
Okay. Anyway, you ready?
Yeah.
It says, good morning. I have 2 questions. The
Okay.
first question is about Christian. Let's do one at a time.
He's already got a lot of questions under his belt. Now he's getting more. He's getting 2 for 1 here.
Well, that's
Okay.
good. He's got good questions. These are excellent questions. This first one is a really good question.
Okay. Let's hear.
First question is a question about Krishna's 6 opulences. Mara.
Let's see.
Fame, renunciation,
Yes. You're
beauty,
going right for the
Wealth.
usually the renunciation comes at wealth. Yeah.
and knowledge.
Yeah.
That's 6.
That's 4. Or maybe I didn't hear. Maybe you cut out or something.
Oh
Say it
yeah, I
again.
think we cut out. Okay. Beauty, fame, strength, renunciation, wealth, and knowledge.
Okay.
Yeah. And he doesn't just have those. He has them in full. We have
Okay.
them in partiality. We have a little bit of beauty and our beauty fades. We have a little bit of money. Even if you've got a lot, it's compared to all the money that's out there, it's just a little.
Okay.
You got a little bit of strength, right? Krishna has all those qualities in full.
Okay.
Krishna even owns your money. You think you got some money, Kasuba? Krishna owns it.
Okay.
You don't own it. He
All
owns it.
right. Okay. All right.
If you could own it, you can't keep it. So give it to me.
I'm giving it to Krishna.
Or
Okay.
Krishna's representative.
Qualified representative. All
All
right.
right, Krishna.
So he says he is all attractive because of his 6 opulences. But what if a devotee isn't attracted to Krishna for some of those qualities like wealth and fame? What about that, Raghunath? Are we supposed to find it attractive that he's wealthy or that he's famous? Is that supposed to impress us some way? Bolo.
He's all attractive. I'm digesting this. He's all attractive.
Okay.
But what if the devotee isn't attracted to Krishna? There will be something that will be attractive about him. I think whoever has any of those opulences, we become attracted to it. I don't think you can fake those things.
So, like, if someone's rich, you're attracted to them?
Everybody is. It's not just me. Everybody's like, they're interested. That person becomes interesting in their eyes. That doesn't mean
They can
like
be repulsive.
You're repulsed by people who have tons of money.
Some people are.
Maybe that's their issue. They're projecting their issues, their wealth wounds on other people.
Okay, all right.
I think actually deep down, they're attractive, but they're maybe envious.
All right.
What do you think about that? Let's tease
Well,
this out a bit.
Krishna's opulences, I think we need to be careful not to equate them with their mundane reflection, right? Like there's Krishna's wealth, and then there's the wealth of the material world.
That's a good point too.
There's Krishna's beauty, and then there's because he could have just as easily said beauty. I mean, just because someone has physical beauty, like it sounds like he's saying, well, that's attractive no matter what, but wealth, that doesn't do anything for me. It's almost like he's sizing up like a date or something like that. You know,
Yeah.
like, it doesn't matter to me whether they're wealthy or they're famous, but I want them to be like physically attractive or something like that. But Krishna's qualities, this is really important. Krishna's qualities are non-different from Krishna. And Krishna is the reservoir of all pleasure. So when Krishna manifests his opulences and you experience them, you experience the deepest pleasure. And the reason why, and this is so really, you know, there's in the Upanishads, there's a statement about God, you know, which is a rasovaisaha, right? That indeed he is rasa, meaning rasa meaning it's a very deep word, but rasa means like the flavor. It means like juice or like the flavor, and in the realms of devotional aesthetics, it refers to like the unique. Prabhupada translates it as mellows, right? The unique flavors and experiences of the varieties of love. And so when it says rasovai saha, it means Krishna. That is, at his essence, that is what he is he's one who's tasting and giving flavors of love. That's it. When we think of God, that's what we need to think of. When you look at a picture of Krishna and you look right into his face, try to understand his heart. Look into his eyes and try to understand his heart. And his heart is just like, I'm here to give you varieties of taste of the deepest love. And as soon as you turn to me and you're ready to receive it, I'm going to give it to you. And I'll taste it in relationship with you. So rasavai saha. This is from the Krishna book. Prabhupada writes, in devotional service, this rasa is the via medium or the basic principle for the exchange of the dealings between the Lord and the living entity. Rasa is also described in the Vedas, rasavai saha. The Supreme Lord is the reservoir of all pleasure. All the Vedic scriptures, including the Puranas, the Vedas, the Upanishads, and the Vedanta Sutra, teach the living entities how to attain the stage of rasa. Now, if we can connect with Krishna and experience him, experience his beauty, experience his knowledge, experience his power, experience his renunciation, experience his fame, and so on, we will feel bliss. Not just bliss, but we'll feel the bliss of his love through those conduits.
Now,
Right.
if we experience that through another being, someone else's power, fame, oftentimes it's to flex their ego, and the whole thing becomes ugly eventually.
Yeah,
It doesn't
that's
become
the
ugly with Krishna.
warped reflection
It's a warped reflection.
or perverted reflection, if we want to go
Yeah.
back to yesterday's show. Yeah.
Perverted.
So, so, you know, but even like take fame. You see, if there's love in it, then fame becomes meaningful and not just superficial, right? Like we might say, okay, like David Lee Roth is famous. It doesn't mean like I find him attractive, you know. But like imagine your own child who you love. Suddenly you find out they've become famous. Then like there's a sense of wonder and something in the heart swells, right? Like that the heart begins to swell like, oh, my love, you know, the dear love, the love of my life is become appreciated widely. You know, your heart begins to expand, you know, swell with love. So it's the love that's blended with these qualities, whether it's fame, whether it's wealth, or any of these qualities that you feel, and you feel in a unique flavor, and it's all attractive. It will suck you in. Like it's not the superficial wealth, superficial beauty, superficial fame. Now, this is something interesting. This is from a commentary Prabhupada wrote to the Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila, chapter 5, text 41. Prabhupada writes, since the Supreme Personality of Godhead is absolute, his qualities are non-different from him. Something difficult, something that's going to take years of pondering, thinking about, trying to understand, reflecting on, hearing more about. His qualities are non-different from him. We may have a quality and lose the quality. He is that quality. That quality is him. His form, names, qualities, and everything else pertaining to him are as spiritual as he is. They're not superficial, material, come and go things. Every qualitative expansion of the absolute personality is identical with him. Since the absolute truth, the personality of Godhead, is the reservoir of all pleasure, all the transcendental qualities that expand from him are reservoirs of pleasure. This is confirmed in the scripture known as the Brahmatarka, which states that the Supreme Lord Hari is qualified by himself, and therefore he's qualified by himself. He doesn't, to get fame, we need to go out and get it from someone else. He's qualified by himself, right? These are all him. Let me get back there. The Brahmatarka states that the Supreme Lord Hari is qualified by himself, and therefore Vishnu and his pure devotees and their transcendental qualities cannot be different from their persons. In the Vishnu Purana, Lord Vishnu is worshipped with the following words: "Let the Supreme Personality of Godhead be merciful to us. His existence is never infected by material qualities." Right? None of these are mundane qualities. In the same Vishnu Purana, it is also said that all the qualities attributed to the Supreme Lord, such as knowledge, opulence, beauty, strength, influence, are known to be non-different from him. This is confirmed in the Padma Purana, which explains that whenever the Supreme Lord is described as having no qualities, this should be understood to indicate what, Mara? Hot seat. Should I say it again?
Yeah, say it again.
Say it
I don't know the
again.
answer,
Yeah,
but
say
say
it
it again.
Could we repeat the
You buy me a
question?
little more time.
Okay, this is also confirmed in the Padma Purana, which explains that whenever the Supreme Lord, we'll come across many verses, especially in the Upanishads, that say God has no qualities, right? So whenever it is said that the Supreme Lord is described as having no qualities, this should be understood to indicate that.
Do you know the answer, Raghu?
Yeah.
It's a Brahman effulgence.
No,
No.
they say God has no qualities. Like the
Like
Upanishad says God has no qualities. He's nirguna. So what
What
does
does that
that mean for devotees of Krishna? How could God have no qualities? Is that offensive? How does that fit in with our
Does that mean they're
philosophy?
Mayavadi? Or no.
Well, this is in the Upanishads
In the
themselves.
Upanishads,
Okay.
it says
Mayavadis love these kind of quotes, but Raghunath knows the answer.
Okay, you tell the answer.
it means he has. When they say is nirguna, it's true. He has no material
Material
qualities.
qualities.
There you go. That's right. This should be understood to indicate that he is devoid of material qualities, but he has spiritual qualities that are eternal and that are non-different from him. In the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said, "O Dharma, protector of religious principles, all noble and sublime qualities are eternally manifest in the person of Krishna, and devotees and transcendentalists who aspire to become faithful also desire to possess such transcendental qualities. It is therefore to be understood that Lord Sri Krishna, the transcendental form of the absolute bliss, is the fountainhead of all pleasurable transcendental qualities and inconceivable potencies." So yeah, when you hear about fame and wealth in relation to Krishna, it's not like David Lee Roth's fame or Donald Trump's wealth. It is the very source of all attractiveness. It is non-different from Krishna. It is entirely spiritual. It has none of the superficial shortcomings of material wealth or fame.
How about this? When we're attracted to that wealth of this world or that power or that beauty of this world, it not only emboldens their false ego, it emboldens ours. We like that wealth because we want that wealth as well. And that, of course, all those things they're not ours. All those opulences are not ours. They're loaners. It's on loan to us. My beauty is on loan. My fame is on loan. David Lee Roth is not so famous anymore. He can't fill a stadium. He can fill a nightclub, maybe.
Okay.
So all these things are temporary in this world. And they say, well, no, I'm going to die rich. Okay, we're going to die. It's not yours. So they're all on loan to us. They won't actually give us what we actually want. The only thing, those are real. It's a reflection. We're attracted to the actual possessor of all those things.
There you go.
And
it's
what
a
happens when we
completely
get
different
attracted to
experience.
Krishna's wealth and beauty? Our false ego diminishes because we understand that all the great, like little mini wealth, mini beauties that we have, it's Krishna's anyway. So we shed our false ego, and in the meantime, Krishna is Krishna. We're entering into reality now. The other types of attraction to wealth, beauty, etc., opulence, it keeps us more in the glue trap of Maya.
There you go. The glue trap.
The glue trap is
maybe we
a good
oughta-
analogy. The glue trap, isn't it?
Maybe
I might be the first person to say that.
I think
First
you were.
devotee to say that.
That one's all you, Raghunath, for sure.
That's all me.
I think we ought to maybe we could get Diamond David Lee Roth onto the show.
What
And we
it's
could just
like to lose
ask him
everything.
about all these things. Yeah, like was the fame,
Was it worth
the
it?
money? Tell us how you feel about it now.
I think he's like a postman now.
What?
I'm serious.
Really?
He was on Joe Rogan.
He's a postman.
Yeah.
Is David Lee
It
Roth?
probably imagine David Lee Roth delivering your mail. Hey, my package is wet.
He's an EMT.
Oh, he's an EMT.
Oh
Okay,
yeah,
I don't
that was
know.
it.
Oh, that's great for him. I think that would be a good job for him.
That's a good lot. Good job.
Yeah, I mean, I
Imagine
think
I
it's
was-
a,
David Roth saved my life. Oh, David Lee Roth saved my life. What do you mean? His songs? No, I actually had a heart attack and he came and saved my life.
I almost had a heart attack when I realized it was David Lee Roth.
And then I had a
another
heart attack again.
one.
I saw Lee Roth on his name tag.
What do you got, Mayor?
You're like, wait, you're not David Lee Roth, are you?
Oh, he was supposed to be on that tour with Kiss, but they dropped him.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Is sometimes that bad karma
Ooh,
can really
bassist-
drive you to being an
listen to this.
EMT.
Bassist / vocalist Gene Simmons referred to David Lee Roth as being past his prime. That's gotta hurt.
Ouch.
Well, I mean, talk about the pot calling the
Calling
kettle
the
black.
kettle
but-
Exactly. All right. So he's
Talking
retired.
about a bunch of like 80-year-old guys in makeup and high heels.
He just released a series of covers of Van Halen songs through the second half of 2022.
His unplugged record.
But is he an EMT? That's what
I don't
you're-
see anything on Wikipedia about him being an
I think he
EMT,
is
although
an
he is
EMT.
trained as an EMT.
That's the kind of thing you just Google direct. David Lee Roth.
Well, they did say that
EMT.
he's trained. He's a visual artist working in painting and drawing with a theme of social commentary. He's also a martial artist. Let's see, he maintains residences in New York City, LA, and Tokyo. In 2004, he trained as a state licensed EMT in New York. In
He trained as
2012,
one.
yeah, he said he'd probably had over 200 911 calls on his ticket in the last 6 years.
Oh, okay. He's
go.
out there
But he didn't
Yeah, so
go
he
to them
is.
because he was
It's
too
like-
famous.
on the
Some-
job
Doing that.
training.
Yeah, he's also a martial artist, been trained in Kenjutsu since he was 12 years old.
I'll fight.
Well, he'd always do those high kicks when he was. He
Yeah.
made your
Oh,
he
maybe.
blew your kicks away, right? I mean, he was like really like. Oh no, I'm serious, right? He was like
No.
full up like that. It's
No,
okay.
it's
right
gone
now.
now.
It's okay that he kicks higher.
And I don't
than
think
you.
he has that beautiful long hair either.
No, he
What's
he cut his
interesting-
hair.
When I went to LA, I knew a person who was getting hair extensions. A girl that I knew got hair extensions. And there's like a place in LA. Hopefully, there's a few famous
I'm
places.
sure there are many places in.
There's
LA.
many places, but she's told me, she's like, guess who else gets hair extensions here? I was like, who? She's like,
David Lee Roth.
all of Metallica gets their hair. I was like, wait a second, Metallica have hair extensions? A lot of people have hair extensions. And
It's
Mary,
Hollywood, baby.
tell me your wig story.
I don't want to tell it on the show.
Oh,
Some things we keep private. Certain things.
but the point is, a
to
lot of
remain secret.
people wear wigs, and you wouldn't believe it.
Yeah.
People
Okay.
wear wigs. It's okay. I'm thinking about wearing a wig. Imagine if I just showed up on the show with a wig. You know, people don't wear toupees anymore.
No, because people just got comfortable with like being bald. I think
No, they just shaving the head. That no one
Yeah,
shaved
just
their
shave the
head.
head.
Our generation, no man shaved their head. Now it's
when
like
we were
every
into
guy.
hardcore and we started shaving our heads, people you'd walk to school with a shaved head and people would go, "What happened?
I know.
Does he have
You walk
cancer?
ahead-
Are you
I
crazy?"
know, not cancer, just like crazy.
Yeah.
He's like, if you saw a kid with a shaved head, you were like, this kid's freaking.
That's what it says.
nuts."
You look like you have cancer. That's what they would say to you.
I think you just look like a criminal.
People told me that, Raghunath. I'm not just like making that up, okay?
Well, it depends on the weird. You know, some people got weird heads.
Okay. You're saying
know
I
what I
got a
mean?
weird head?
Let me see. Put your head down. I can't see the top of your head. I want to see your whole head. I think mine is a good shaved head.
Oh, thanks.
See, look. Some people need hair.
All right, all right.
What do you think about hair extensions? Would you ever get that?
I'm not for or against them. I mean, it's.
You're not against if I got a toupee. You wouldn't say anything.
I want to see it.
You wouldn't talk behind my back.
Oh, I'm sure I would talk behind your back.
Oh, Krishna. I probably look a lot better with it. Mara says no.
Okay, we didn't
Yeah.
get to the second part of the question. Should we do that quick, or should we just do that next time?
What
How is Mahavishnu an avatar? We can answer that quick.
How is Mahavishnu an avatar of Krishna? Oh, I was just reading that.
You want me to do it? You want to do it?
Because Krishna is the source of all manifestations. It's like insider info. We have in our lineage, we have insider info that even all of Hinduism doesn't get. You know
Well,
what I
it's
mean?
there, but we dug it all out and lined it all
Yeah.
up. You know.
You know, it's just like you get if you're not really into like martial arts, then you like but you sort of like it, you watch the UFC. But the more you get into it, you find all these bootleg underground fights that go on in other places. You got to get insider info, like where there's a crazy mixed martial arts going. There's a crazy thing where they're doing bare knuckles. Once you get into this stuff,
Time is running out. We got to talk about Mahavishnu, okay?
well, that's what I'm saying. In our lineage, we have all this insider info into Lord Krishna.
I think the confusion may be due to perhaps when we think of avatar, we think of the Leela avatars, right? Which are Krishna coming in different forms that are performing far out pastimes. Like he comes as Lord Ram, he comes as Lord Shringadev. And when you hear Mahavishnu, he's like lying asleep, like in an ocean. But the Purusha avatars are three expansions, four-handed Vishnu expansions that are responsible for the manifestation of the material world and the cycles of creation and destruction that take place in it, and permeating it all on three different levels. There's Mahavishnu, which is like the soul of the entire material realm. From his pores of his skin come unlimited universes. Inside each universe, he becomes the Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. He fills it up half with water and lies on that water. From his navel grows the lotus, and Lord Brahma takes birth on that. Then Lord Brahma does the secondary creation of that little tiny universe. And then from him come all the species of life. And then into the heart of every living being, he enters as the third Purusha avatar, Kshirodakshaya Vishnu, or we call Paramatma really refers to all of them, but sometimes we especially when we use the word Paramatma, we are commonly referring to that God in the heart of every living entity. So the Krishna, he's engaged in his Leela in the spiritual realm. He doesn't have to take care of all the business because we want an illusion, because we want a virtual reality. He says, if you want illusion, I can provide it for you. And he provides it through the Purusha avatars. They create the virtual reality. They maintain and penetrate and permeate the virtual reality that we're playing in. It's done through the Purusha avatars. There's Purusha avatars. There's Leela avatars when Krishna comes to play. There's Guna avatars, which are Vishnu, Brahma, and Shiva that keep the cycles of creation, maintenance, and destruction moving. There's the Manvantara avatars, the Manus, the fathers of mankind. There's 14 in the day of Brahma. There's the Yuga avatars. Every Yuga has an avatar that teaches its Dharma. And then there's Shaktivesha avatars, which are empowered living beings that are empowered by Krishna, like Vyasadeva, for instance. So there's all these different types of avatars, and Purusha is one variety. All right. I can't hear you, Raghu. Did you mute yourself?
Thank you.
Okay. Did I bore you? You look really bored.
No, I was on the edge of my seat. Your avatar
We'll talk about hair
explanation.
extensions more.
Okay, guys, that's it. I think
That's it.
that's
Tomorrow,
it. Remember
8
to
o'clock. Huh?
Tomorrow, 8 o'clock, check in with virtuoso violinist because Stupa's going to interview her.
You should check in because you're a violinist, Raghunath. You're going to pop in?
I know. It's humiliating, though, because I'm not good at it. I don't even want to. I'm not good. You're going to compare me to, like, the first seat violinist from Russia? Forget it.
First seat. She's a
Like
soloist.
Squeaky Sam. That would
I
drive
think
people
like
out of the
isn't
room.
it like the orchestra has a first seat, but then like the soloist like visits. They just drop in as like
You know what? We're gonna
traveling
have to
star.
ask her. We're gonna have to ask her. I think she's the first seat. Anyway, make sure you check out the BI Bhaktivedanta Institute summer camp. There will be no swimming or volleyball in this summer camp.
Nothing.
It's studying science. It's a science summer camp.
There might be UFOs, though.
There may be UFOs.
Okay.
So the Mormons believe in UFOs too. They have a whole thing.
Everyone believes in UFOs except the so-called scientists.
I mean, even our government. It's like, yeah, they're
Governor's like, yeah, we've been talking to UFOs
Now,
for
what
a while.
have you been reading or scrolling?
Didn't they release, like, I don't know, 6 months ago,
They're
they
talking
unclassified
about
a bunch of documents.
The government now. What is it? Area 51 or whatever it's
We
called.
don't call them conspiracy theories, Christine. We call them truth seekers.
Okay. What's
Okay.
that town? Roswell.
Roswell's real. You want to play Roswell game? We can play that game. Check that out. I'm Roswell. You see my post yesterday about angels and aliens?
I saw it. I didn't pay too much attention. What were you asking?
I just like how they're non-different. They're not different. We would call them we'd call them
But some of the aliens are like not so.
they're not so good. No, that's right. So a complete thing would be, yes, there's demigods, there's demons,
So under
there's
the
aliens.
umbrella of
They're
aliens.
both
some
aliens.
are-
Alien's like a general word. It's like saying Hinduism.
This means they're from
Not-
somewhere else.
Huh? It means they're not from here. They have some advancement, obviously. They can fly here.
Like we're all
Shape
aliens
shift.
in other places.
Yeah. You ever go to another country and it says aliens in this line?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not going to that line.
Then you look over there.
I guess I am an alien here.
Must be the most fascinating line. You got the Greys, you got the lizard people, shapeshifters.
People shippy shape. One guy levitating.
No shape-shifting in the line. Bring your
Shapeshifters
passport.
have their own line. Lizard people to the back.
Does the passport shift when they shift their shape?
Oh, that's a good idea. Their faces shift on the passport. It does on the new downloadable e-passports. Guess what?
What?
Our Italy trip is almost sold out.
Maybe we ought to double it or something like that.
Double it.
No, I'm serious. Like, get another bus. Like, why are we limiting it to that number?
Yes, it should be unlimited.
Or
There
double.
comes to a certain point where people want to talk to me and they can't talk to me if there's a lot of people. I'm doing it for
Is that
their
what it's all about?
It is. It is. It's about keeping
I
it intimate.
I
There's a
accept that.
breaking point where you lose your intimacy.
True.
You know.
Then maybe we should do two of them.